Lately I've been thinking about this life and how it brought me here. Staring at this man in the mirror, I see him often here. Wipe my tears, only if you knew what I was going through. Only if you walked it in my shoes. Certain things don't like to talk about, but I'll always remember. The chaos in my mind turned my heart out in November. I'm surrounded by too many doors, not sure which way I entered, but I'm rocking with my lovers, let you know that.
Welcome to the Message Hope podcast, where the hope stands for hearing other people's experience. My name is Adam.
My name is Mike, and today in the studio we have somebody that I've known since I came in the rooms this time. I have 20 months clean now, and every time I see this guy, he's always offering me some kind of game. He's never offered me any kind of misguidance. He's always given me some real advice from real experience, and I appreciate that. So, Jesse, welcome to the podcast, man.
Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm grateful to have you, bro.
Oh man, it's such an honor. You know, this is awesome. You know, it's like, hey, it's like, what the heck, man? You know, it's like, hey, would you like to just share something with us? You know, on the podcast and all that, and I go, yeah, man, no problem. You know, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I get in the car and I say, what did I just say, man?
It's like that, bro. Every time somebody asks me to come speak, bro, I'm like, why? I'm like all excited. I'm like, yes, I'll go do it. And then like a week prior to doing it, I'm like, why the fuck do I keep saying yes? Like I just get super anxious, super fucking worried, super overthinking everything. And so I'm always a nervous wreck up until I go and speak. So
man, aren't we all? It's like that, but then again, you know what? We ask that little bit of peace. We ask for that peace, man.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and here we are, right?
Yep.
Here we are, man. Thank you once again.
So, Jesse, we started off the same way every time. What was it like growing up? Where'd you grow up, bro?
Well, you know, I grew up in Boyle Heights, East LA.
Okay.
The projects. I am the oldest of four. Mm-hmm. I have two other brothers. We're 2 years apart. I'm the oldest one once again, and we have a sister too. That's 6 years under us, you know. Okay. And so I was the oldest one in the projects and stuff like that, and you know, I was the one that was always whatever my brothers did back then. Yeah, I was always the one getting blamed for it. You know what I mean? Right. It's like I was the one that was getting smacked around for it, man. It's like I would always wish, I go, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I didn't want to get hit, not because of my brothers were going to get hit. I didn't want to get hit because they'll tell, my mom or dad would tell me, you know that you're not supposed to be telling them. You're not supposed to let them do this.
Yeah.
You know, my mom and dad, they were like, they worked all their lives. You know, they worked all their lives. My mother crossed the river. Way before my time, I came to this world. You know, she crossed the river with her mother, no papers, you know, with just a dream, man, you know, with the dream. And so she came over here to the States, and she started going to school, beauty school. You know, she started going to beauty school, and then she decided one night to go out in Lincoln Heights at a bar, and my dad was there, you know, and that's how they got together, and you know how I came about, you know. And you know the crazy part about this is that, you know, yesterday I was thinking about, you know, I know they're gonna ask me about how my child life was like, you know what I mean, and then I said, how am I gonna start it off with though too also, and I was thinking, well, you know what, my dad is a carpenter, and his name is Jesus. After that, I started laughing. I go, wait a minute, Jesus was a carpenter. So I'm son of God, you know what I mean? It's like, what? So it's like I'm saying, what the heck, man, you know? And I'm laughing on the 215 freeway, bro, because I just had a revelation right there, you know?
Yeah.
And I go, I'll be damned. My dad his name was Jesus. And he's a carpenter. You know what I mean? And my name is Jesus, and I'm Junior, right? So, you know, here we are, we're in the projects, and the thing is that I'm the firstborn. So the firstborn gets to get videotaped all the time. You know, well, not video. Back then was projector. Is that 8mm projector?
Yeah.
You know, that one. And my father, because he was a carpenter in the union, he had all the good toys back then in the 70s, early 70s and stuff like that. So he had this 8mm projector, and every time there would be these reels of film, and each one was Jesse's first birthday, Jesse's first day of school, Jesse meets Santa Claus, and there were all these reels, man. And the thing is that I remember I would be popping those reels in to show my brothers, of how it was then, because by the time when I was showing them those reels, it was not like that. It was not like that. The shine went away. The family type of thing where going to the zoo or to Knott's Berry Farm back then and all that, it did not exist after me. So it kind of felt like if I was the one that was responsible for my brothers not being able to get, filmed or not going to Knott's Berry Farm or going to the beach. I kind of felt like I was responsible for that. You know, so there was a big burden on me, and as my mom and my dad would take off for days at a time, and I was the one that was left there to take care of them, I would give them eggs or cereal or turn on the TV and stuff like that.
How old were you then?
I'd say about 9 years old, 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
9, 10 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so like, what was the change? What do you do? Can you like pinpoint of what happened from when they had your first birthday and the first time meeting Santa Claus to like where things just kind of stopped being so bright and started being dark?
Well, you know what? What I can come up with is the fact that, my father, carpenter in the union and all that, he always had the good stuff, the good toys, a good nice car and everything like that. Next thing you know, he developed an attraction, other women,
Okay.
and so when that happened, all bets are off. It's like I remember being in the projects, man. I remember one time when I was staring, that back then the projects were not made of plaster or drywall or anything like that. They were made out of cinder blocks.
Yep.
And
The projects in San Bernardino are still
Oh.
made out of cinder blocks right there on 9th and Medical Center.
And those
Yeah.
suckers probably have lead in them too. Well, that's the reason why they knocked down the Aliso projects over there. You know what I mean? Is that, and I remember those cinder block walls, man. I remember my face right up close to it, man. And I remember the dew from my mother cooking, throughout the night. She would be cooking something. And the condensation of the home and everything like that. You see the droplets coming down the wall. I remember that stuff clearly. And I remember my mom was arguing with my father. And she would say, call her. I want you to call her and end it now. And he wouldn't call her up, And I just say her. And there was a lot of hers after her. There was a whole lot of hers after her. Believe me. And the thing is that I remember that night is that all I heard was thumping, And I got up off the bed, and I went down the hallway, and on the floor, these projects. I'm telling you again, these projects had no rug, had no wood flooring, it had concrete, straight out concrete. And I see my dad on top of my mom, and straight slamming her head on concrete.
Damn.
Yeah, and I couldn't do anything about it. I stood there, and I turned around. I ran to my bed, and I put the covers over me, and I was hoping that it would go away, but the noise kept on going on over and over and over and over. That's when I knew that things changed. That's when I thought that, it's all my fault. My brother, it had nothing to do with my brothers or my sister. I just developed some sort of a hate and a guilt, but most of all, guilt and shame because I felt that it was all my fault.
Right.
It was all my fault, that they're going through all that, I remember one day I said, I'll never be like my father.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that. That was that. The projects was good. I mean, at that time, in the 70s, I remember that my mom would tell me, hey, you know what? Go to such and such house and get a dozen tortillas there, and then go on over to Miss Lola's house and go get the can of beans over there. And she would send me all over these projects, man. I'll be on this mission and stuff like that, man. And it was just amazing time, man, back then, man. Aside from all that other stuff, it was a great time, for me. My mother did the best she can with the relationship she had. I remember there's a lot of times where she ended up taking us to MacArthur Park, and we would she would pack us up in the car, and we would get on the boats, and I'm thinking everything's okay, I'm thinking everything's all right. And we'll be in the boats and paddling, and I'd be calling out for my mom, Mom, look it. And then you'll be far away up on the hill, and she'll be waving from far away like that. And I'll just keep on pedaling. After when the hour's over, because you just get an hour of boat time, I go walking up, and I'll be all excited and everything like that. And she wore these big old glasses, man. Back then, those what were those glasses? Those beehive? Those
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The kind that Mario wears.
Yeah. I did not say that, Mario. Yeah, so she wears those type of glasses and stuff like that, and I remember walking up to her, man, and I seen the corner of her eye, and I look on the side like that, and I see her black eye, and I didn't ask her anything because I already knew where it came from, right?
Yeah.
I already knew where it came from and stuff like that. But, my mom, during that time, she was not an alcoholic. She sure as hell became an alcoholic after that because, she drowned her sorrows with beer. And, I mean, to this day, man, I love my mother. I see her. I make a point to go visit my mom every month now, in Mexico. I make a point to go see her, Real quick, I wanted to go ahead and share this one real fast, is that I remember my mom, we were going down Huntington Drive in East LA, and there was a song, Fly Like an Eagle.
Yeah.
To see, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like about 10, 11 years old, man, you know what I mean? And she's in their 64 Mustang, man. 64 Mustang with a V8 289. I remember that shit because I wanted one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, she's over there, blasting that song and everything like that. And she has her beer, her tall cans right there, man, Budweiser. She's always a Budweiser drinker, And everything was just fine and dandy at that time, man. My dad was no part of it right there, right? He was busy doing his own thing. And the song was blasting and everything like that. And I see her, and she just takes a swig back, man, of beer. And next thing you know, there's this one motorcycle cop that comes right by, and she sees a motorcycle cop, right?
Yeah.
She sees she threw the beer on the floorboard of the car, right? And then after that, she did the fastest turn ever, man, the right turn. I mean, it's like she turned on a dime, bro.
Yeah.
I never knew that 64 Mustangs can turn like that quick, man. She made it turn that quick. She threw us out of the car. Come on, get out of the car. Get out of the car. And I'm wondering what the heck's going on. Why, So we got kicked out of the car and everything like that. We started walking, and I see the cop car just going real slow, man, and checking on my mom.
Yeah.
And he had that face. you got away from us, but we're gonna get you next time.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but you know that's my childhood. You know, I had the latest and the greatest. I had the Schwinn bike.
Mm-hmm.
I had the big wheel. You know, I had everything. You know, my mom made sure I had gotten everything, man. But I you know, it just wasn't working. All those possessions and everything was not taking care of what was inside of me, was hurting inside of me of what I saw. You know, so yeah, that's right there. You know?
So did alcohol influence the way your dad was acting towards your mom and the abuse that was going on towards your mom, or was alcohol not in the picture for that?
For my dad, yeah, I want to say yes. You know, he drank brandy. He was a brandy drinker, but he wasn't the one that was always drunk. You know, he wasn't the one that was always drunk.
Okay.
You know, he would be the one that was the party type that now it's time to drink and stuff, sort of thing like that. You know. But no, he was an alcoholic, but not a raging alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
What he had was that, you know, he had a major problem with women.
Yeah.
Basically with women, you know, and that's what, you know, kind of like jacked up the relationship between him and I.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, where you know, we just didn't even talk. You know, I mean, I didn't have a good relationship with my father at all. You know, since he started beating on my mother, I already knew, you know, that I don't. There's no way, you know, and there was a lot of times I remember, you know, there's a whole bunch of times I remember my dad beating on my mother. You know, I mean, I go on and on. There was a time when I was. There was a time when I was 13 years old, man, and it was a big family party in the street and everything like that, and they're roasting a pig, you know, over the fire and everything like that. It's a big old thing, man. Food everywhere, music and everything like that. And I'm thinking everything's okay and stuff, you know. And we, you know, we get our presents and stuff. And in the morning we get some more presents. And I remember like about maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm opening up this one present. And I see that it's a microscope, man. It's what I always wanted, was a microscope. And the first person I wanted to show was my mom. Mm-hmm. You know, so I grabbed the microscope, man, and I was across the street. So there's like about 5 houses. There were all big parties going on and everything like that. And I grabbed the microscope and I ran across the street to our house. And I'm calling out for my mom. I'm saying, Mom, Mom. And I don't see her. Where are you, Mom? Mom. And I walk around to the far end of the room. In that room, they had there was no door, but there was a blanket hanging. You know, and I open up the blanket, and I see my mom laying there. And I go, Mom, look what I got. I got a microscope set. Oh, that's good, Miko. That's real good. Mom, look. And then she was turned away, and then when she turned to me, I saw black eyes again. And I dropped my microscope, and I went to the freezer, and I grabbed a steak, man, because I heard that steaks take away black eyes right away. And I wanted my mom's black eyes to go away that day real fast, so that way she could have a good Christmas with us. And that was not possible because my father beat on my mom. You know, so did I have a good childhood? You know what? My father did not beat me. He was busy beating on my mom. But it hurted me.
Yeah.
The beatings hurt me. The beatings hurt my brother. The beatings hurt my sister. Yeah. you know. So that's the way it was then, you know.
There's like a part of me that, because it's a heavy subject, bro, right? And like as kids, we hold and carry some of that shit for so fucking long. And the truth is, I know for me, man, like I don't have that experience where like there was never a man in my household, you know what I'm saying? But just like everything that happened to me as a kid, everything I had to watch my mom walk through, like you carry that, right? And it's like you're so helpless because you're so young, and you wish you could be the man of the house, and you wish you could do this, and you can't, and like you hold on to that to the point where it like destroys you, you know? So it's like, it's a little hard to even like I wasn't even going to like respond to it, bro, because we carry it for fucking long, and luckily, right, there's like this healing process, right? But there's always going to be like residue in our spirit from things that happened as a kid, right? And I remember thinking like when my dad left, I remember carrying that burden, bro, thinking it was my fault. Like not only did I let my sisters down, or not only did I let myself down, but I felt like I let my sisters down, right? Yeah. I felt like because of something I did, or because I wasn't good enough, or because I wasn't like manly enough, or whatever the case was. However I felt, I just felt like it was my fault, right? Yeah. And I felt, and it's crazy, bro, because like 10 years old, like I remember being 10 and like holding all that, like, you know, I shared about it when I did my interview, but like I felt like I had to be the man of the house at 10 years old, bro. Yeah. Right? I look at my son, bro. My son's 10. Wow. Right? And he's a good kid, bro. Right? Yeah. But that dude fucking will eat hot Cheetos and fucking candy all day and play the game if I didn't tell him to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that's not his responsibility to be a man right now. You know, he gets to be a kid, and I think as much as we want our kids to be kids, I mean, sometimes they're forced into adulthood at a young age. They're forced to bear certain situations and certain feelings and certain burdens way before they're ever really ready or prepared to do any of that, bro.
Right,
you know?
right. You know, I would cook for my brothers and sisters while my mother and father were off for days at a time in Las Vegas, or swap meets and all that stuff. I would cook for them. I would put my brothers in the bathtub and wash them up and everything like that. Make sure that they were clean before my mom showed up, because there'll be hell to pay if I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was that one. You know, and it's like where was the Atari for me? Mm. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like as soon as I started growing older, all those things were, that was it. You know, I mean, there was nothing like that for me. During when I was maybe 5 years old, yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I had my big wheel, or I had my little Schwinn bike or whatever and all that. But other than that, when I started getting older, you know what? You're old enough to take care of your brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. We're out of here. You know, I remember one time where my mom and dad, they took off to Las Vegas for 6 days, and it's me, my two brothers, my second brother, one that's younger than me, 2 years younger than me. He decided to cook some eggs in the kitchen and burn down the whole kitchen, all black, burned it down. Imagine my mom and dad came back, where I had to go ahead and explain to them what happened. Guess who got the beating? I did. I got because I was supposed to take care of my brother, you know? Yeah. That was it, you know? That was it. Yeah.
All right, so what was it like in your teenage years? Like, when did you start to deal with all that in an unhealthy way?
Well, you know, after elementary, you know, we moved out of the projects because it got too rough and stuff like that, you know. There was this one big old fight thing, you know, with two gangs that were there and stuff like that. So I got caught in the crossfire and I got shot in the knee.
How old were you then?
I was 11 years old.
And you got shot in the knee?
I got shot in the knee. You know, I was caught in the crossfire of a gang fight.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, when that happened, yeah, I was taken to the hospital and everything like that. And And after that, we moved on to El Sereno, and we went there. We lived there for a while. I started going to grade school there, 6th grade. I graduated out of 6th grade, and I went on to junior high school in El Sereno, junior high.
Is El Sereno in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's over there by City Terrace, Alhambra, sort of thing like that. You guys know where it's at?
No.
Okay. Well, it's,
No, it's
Lincoln
LA
Heights.
County.
Lincoln Heights.
That's all I know about it.
Dodger Stadium.
Okay. All right.
Around that general area, So we moved over there, and I went into junior high school, and here I am, man. I'm this 12, 13-year-old boy, man, looking for acceptance, man. I just want to be part of, man. I really didn't like my first name because I was named after my father. I didn't like my last name because it was Ayala, and it kind of sounded funny to me. I wasn't, I don't know if you guys had a complex with all that last name type of thing, but I did. You know what I mean? It's like the fact that how come I was not a Garcia or a Valdez? Like, I would always hear these last names, like in the East LA, you hear the Garcias, like there's no tomorrow, or Rodriguez, shit like that. But Ayala, it's like, nah, I didn't like my last name. I didn't even like myself,
Yeah.
So 7th grade was a blur. Here I am trying to look for acceptance and all that. 8th grade was pretty good. It was pretty good. I found some acceptance in there. Got a hold of some couple of guys there and everything like that. We had a little crew going on. We decided to make our own little gang, and we decided to call it Wanderers and shit. You know that movie, after that movie Wanderers? It's like, shit, man, here we are, it's like we just want to we just want to have a gang. Yeah. We want to belong somewhere,
Yep.
And we did anything we can, dude, to be a part of. So, yeah, we started a gang. It was just 3 of us, It was just 3 of us, and that was it. Going through junior high once again, I was introduced to weed that time too, also. But most of all, how it started, I think it started where I started stealing. Actually,
Okay.
Yeah, I started stealing. There's the corner store. And it had a whole bunch of candy there, man. And I just
They don't need all that.
Yeah, I said, no, man, you know what I mean? I went ahead and would help myself to candy, and it was the best thing ever, man. I even thought that I was the best thief ever. I was like, shit, I bet you I could steal more than you. I go, no, you can't. I bet you I could, And I was that one, man, that would come out with full ass pockets running out the store, man. Even the shop guy, the market guy would catch me still, man. I would get my ass up out of there, man, and run, And the next week I tried to go up in there again. They tell me, I thought I told you to get out of here, I look at him, grab something, and run. That was me back then, stealing.
Yeah.
And then after that, smoking weed. And just trying to be a part of, man. I even wanted to be the most famous guy in school. I came across this one girl, man. Her name was Rosie Ceballos, man. She had the biggest tits ever, man. And it's like, shit, I want to be with her. You know what I mean? Because everybody knew Rosie Ceballos, She had the biggest tits in the whole school, man. And I wanted to be with her, man. And I did whatever I can to be with her, man. And guess what? I was with her, man. I did. And people would look at me and say, how in the hell is this girl even with you? How? And I even said to myself, how is it that she's even with me, man? What is it that she sees in me that I can't even see in myself?
Right.
And I didn't even know that I was that I showed love and care. I was being caring, I was being very thoughtful. I was being kind. I was expressing those things to her, and I didn't even know it. You know, I didn't even know any of that stuff, man. I didn't. That was like my first girlfriend ever. My mother and father didn't teach me about love.
Right.
They weren't holding hands in front of me or kissing each other or showing any PDA or anything like that. So I didn't know how to love this girl. You know, all I knew was that I asked her, you want to go around? She says, yeah, okay, hold my hand. I'll hold your books and I'll walk you to class.
Old school.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Ain't no more of that anymore.
No more of that, you know. All that's gone, you know. But yeah, that's the junior high school, man. I started smoking weed, and eventually I did not graduate. You know, I wouldn't. All that was all blur. I did not graduate junior high school. I went on to high school, and that too was a blur. Because ditching parties were in. So I had to be part of those ditching parties. You know, it was always mandatory, you know. I was that one that always wanted to drink or get high and stuff like that. But I didn't know anything about coke or crack or meth or anything at that time. All I was doing was drinking and smoking at that time, you know.
Do you remember the first time you used, feeling like a sense of like relief or like that you had figured something out, like this is something I'm going to keep doing? Do you remember thinking that? Or
you know what? I remember the first time I smoked. I mean, it was my mother's comadre. You know, it's like my mother baptized one of her kids, so now she's the godmother type of thing, you know. So, you know, I just so happened to go hang out with one of the kids over there with them, and they busted out with that joint I was just talking about, you know. And I remember smoking it, and they go, take another hit. I go, all right. You got to hold it in. You got to just hold it in for a long time. I go, all right, cool. You got to hold it out. You know, and I'm, you know, I'm listening to all this shit, man. You know what I mean? Take a deep breath and all this other stuff. Blow it out now. Now take another hit. And you know, they were done with me, right? And they sent me on home. When they sent me on home, bro, I walk inside the house, man. My mom is cooking, man, in the kitchen, man. And then she turns around, and you could just see her face, like everything is just like turned white. It's like, mijo, ¿qué te pasó? You know, like, what happened to you? And then she started calling my dad, you know. Hey, come over here and look at your son. Your son, there's something wrong with your son. And I'm over there like, I'm all right. I'm doing good. Nothing's wrong with me and all that. And after that, you know, my father shows up, right? And she's, oh, my God, what you been smoking? And then right then and there, man, my tears started falling out, man. I'm not smoking nothing. Nothing's wrong with me. No, I'm all right. And, you know, just tears started rolling up my cheek. And it's like, man. But that was the time when I felt that I was really high and that I really liked it, man.
yeah,
You know, and I tell you what, man, I couldn't even wait till the next hour to do it, man. I couldn't wait. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't wait, man. You know, I right away after that, a few days, man, because I had to keep it low. You know, I had to keep cool, man. Yeah. You know, in the room, I was punished. But after that, I went right back out there again, you know, and just started getting high all over again, man. You know, it was all about that weed. Yeah. You know, it was weed, money, and clothes. Clothes was a major addiction for me back then, too.
Yeah.
You know, because I always wanted to look good. Mm-hmm. Always wanted to look good, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know?
So when did it progress to like more harder stuff?
Ooh, man. You know, when I mentioned the fact that it was all about smoking weed, drinking beer, and having nice clothes, I had all the workings of becoming a raging addict.
Yeah.
I had all the workings. It was laid out for me, it was like they say, the perfect storm, right? Mm-hmm. It was the perfect storm for me, you know. And the thing is that I remember that, yes, I had money in my pocket. I had weed. And I was dressed to the T, man. And I remember where back then, you know, like now is, you know how these kids now, they go into these intersections and they close out all the intersections and doing donuts and all that shit and then running each other over and all this crap.
Yeah.
I don't see any benefit out of any of that. You know, in our times, we would go to a park and cruise and kick back and listen to music, you know what I mean? And try to pick up on the girls that are parked next to us. Because we always want to be parking next to the girls. You know, we would look around, see if there's an empty spot where the girls are at, and we go right up in there, man. You know, we want to be where all the guys are at. So they end up being, God, what the hell? You know what I mean? So we would park right there and everything like that. And then this one cat, man, his name was Jaime. You know, Jaime busted out with some substance, man. You know, and we were smoking weed back then. And we were drinking California coolers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with California coolers, man. There's a lot of old school people who are familiar with California coolers. Back then it was like now it's like White Claw.
Yeah.
Oh,
back then
wine coolers.
Yeah, wine coolers. Yeah, they were wine coolers. They're called California coolers. Anyways, man, we're just sipping on those. We're dressed to the T and everything like that. Jaime busts out with some freaking white powdery substance, man. Never have I ever. I mean, I would see cocaine or whatever on Scarface, right? But I never seen it right in front of me, right there laid out. And he comes out and he has his the little bullet, you know, the bullet where you load it and you take out the chamber and all that, and you load it, and then you just give it to the person. You go, you snort it, and you know you just got yourself a shot. You know, they go, you want some? I go, what is it? It's cocaine. It's good. I go, yeah. Okay, give me some. Let me have some. You know, that was it. Right there. You know, I fell in love with cocaine. Right then and there. You know, it was on and cracking after that. You know, that's when I knew that, okay, now it's party time. I kept on going, you know. One thing led to another. I'm this raging addict. Now I want to try another drug after cocaine. I tried PCP. Night after night, I would wait in front of a store waiting, you know, just to smoke some PCP or whatever it was. Heroin, you know. I'm not one. I mean, it's like, did I have a problem then? Of course. I just denied it. Yeah. I didn't want to admit that I had a problem, you know. That led on, you know. I have 3 prison terms, you know, 3 numbers I discharged from, and everything like that. You know, what was a turning point for hard drugs for me? Shit, man, back then is cocaine, man, that got me started. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you did 3 prison terms.
Yeah. I did 3 prison terms, man.
What's the longest you did?
I got a 16-year term. I got 9.5 years off of that one right there. It was an E number. Now it's like they have these triple numbers or double numbers, and then letters like EE 1, 2, 3, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, back when I had my first number, it was E17038. You know,
never forget that number.
I never forget my first number, man. Yeah. You know, it's like shit. When I went to prison, man, for that long amount of time, man, it's like shoot, man. Now what?
What'd you go to prison for, if you don't mind me asking?
Home invasion.
Okay.
Yeah, I went in for home invasion. I mean, I find ways and means to keep on getting high. That was me. You know, I would do anything and everything just to get high. You know, there's times where I would go to back to the projects, man, and go get crack and stuff like that. You know, the scar right here came from a box cutter because I wanted to score a 10 10-piece rock, all over that. So, you know what I mean? Here it is.
Yeah.
A 10-piece rock that's going to be with me forever to remind me.
Right.
And, there's one of the many scars that we have. Each and every one of us have scars from back then.
Yeah.
If it's not physical, it's mental, emotional, is what we're with,
Yeah.
It's about how we're going to deal with them now. Right. So, yeah, I did have 3 terms. My other number was a H number, and the other one was a P number. The longest one was 16 years. I got a 9-year bid and a 6-year one too. Also, those are things that I don't feel that any recovering addict is going to benefit out of. You know what I mean? Because right now it's not about who I was then. I'll touch on who I was then real quick, fast.
Yeah.
But who I am now is what counts the most. You know what I mean? And in my recovery program, we touch on we first go ahead and share the experience, so that way we can get the connection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And find that connection, because that's how I was when I came into my program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, it's like I didn't even know anything about any principles or traditions, or shoot, give me your number and I'll call you and everything like that. When I came into the rooms, in recovery rooms, man, it's like, man, I identified, right? They welcomed me, right? They told me to sit down and don't leave before the miracle happens, right? Trying to figure out who's a miracle. During that time, because I remember going into recovery program, during that time, the most special thing that I received that day was the white IP. It had the all the meetings and times and all that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I get to the back.
Ooh.
I get to the back and I see a long list of names with numbers. And I look up and who's this for? They go, it's for you. All these numbers right here, they're for me? So yeah. In case you want to use again, you get to go ahead and call one of those addicts and they'll help you out. They'll pick you up wherever you're at. They'll talk to you. They'll talk to you. They'll spend time with you. When I saw that list, that was the most magical thing ever happened to me, man. That's when I knew that people believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. That's when it hit me that I was in the right place. As I was saying, I even asking myself, how can these addicts give me their own phone number? Do they not know me? And in my spirit said, of course they know you. Why wouldn't they give you their phone number? Why do you think they gave you their phone number? Because they know you.
Right.
They see something in you that you can't even see in yourself. That's my spirit. That was it. So, has my program given me a new way to live? Most definitely. My life is great.
So what was it like at the end of your road?
At the end of the road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What?
I'm over here trying to avoid that right there and everything like that.
No.
What brought you to your knees? Like what
brought me to?
Yeah, you could say what substance or what situation or whatever.
You know what,
whatever
man?
you want to share.
I'm gonna tell you, after 32 years of using and stuff like that, man, my family, I'm at 3:00 in the morning in the garage, and my family says, we want to talk to you, and I go, why? I'm straight out sweating. I have a bandana over my head so that way the sweat doesn't go down my face, right? So, anyways, why? Well, we want to talk to you and all that. So, I said, I'll be right there. After I'm working on 25 projects in the garage. You know what I mean? I'm trying to finish here. Why are you guys keep on bothering me? You know what I mean? I was one of them addicts, man. Tweaker. So, I go inside, and then I get into it with my wife and everything like that. You know, we're not married, but we're common law. I say wife. Screw it. Anyway, she's known me ever since I was 6 years old. We've been together 36 years. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. You know, so we want to talk to you. Went to the back room, and I remember my son told me, we don't want you to live here anymore. We're done with you. I go, what? You heard. He goes, no, tell me again. I want to hear it from you. You heard. I go, no, tell me. Tell it to me in front of my face. Tell me. Tell me that you don't want me here, that you don't want me to live here anymore, that you want me on the streets. Tell it to me now. And he stared at me, and I go, tell me now. Tell me. Because we don't want you here. We want you out of the house now. And my disease said, this is your chance. Grab your bags, grab your bike, and get out of here. You'll be able to do dope in peace now. Mm. And that's what I did. I went out to the streets. I went through Pomona and stuff. I was out there for maybe a year and a half out in the streets, running and gunning, hustling. You know, I would damn my family. Damn you guys. How can you guys do this to me? I hate you guys. I don't want any part of you guys. I would text them and tell them all that stuff, man. You know, but still, they wouldn't say nothing back to me, man. They wouldn't say anything back to me. And I remember one time, real quick, is that I remember one time where I knocked on my brother's door, and I was just beaten, man, real beaten. I knocked on his door, walked up, knocked on his door, and he opens up the door, and he looks at me from head to toe. He goes, yeah, what do you want? I go, and I had my head down because I'm already with fear and shame. Mm-hmm. I'm dirty. I have not taken a shower in 3 weeks. I go, hey, bro, do you have something to eat? And he looks at me for a little while, and he goes, yeah, go around the side. And he slams the door on me, and I walk around the side, and there's a garage. And I hear the garage door open to a certain amount of height, say about maybe 12 inches high. It opened up, and it stopped. And then I hear a sliding of a tray come right out. The tray slid right out of the garage, and I picked it up, and I looked down, and it was shredded beef, and it was his leftovers. Because I know, because it was a fork that was there, it was eating up potato. And then the garage door closed. I grabbed it. I was so hungry. I sat on the curb, and I ate his leftovers. Because I was so hungry. It was my little brother, 4 years younger than me. He's an active addict right now. After that, I ate. I went and knocked on the door again. And I told him, can I take a shower? And he turned his back to me, and he pointed to the shower. And I took a shower. I grabbed my clothes. I went to the side of the garage, and I dressed over there. I was naked. I got dressed in the side of the garage. He opened up the garage again, and he goes, come here. And I go, what? What? Come here. And you can see him. He has a mirror, and he has some meth on it. He goes, you know you want some. Come on. You know you want some. Come and get some. Come and get some. Come on. And I looked at him. It's my little brother, blood brother. I'm the one who bathed him. I'm the one who fed him back in the days. I'm the one who took care of him. I'm the one who got the beatings from him. Instead of him, I got the beatings. I looked at him. I go, you know what, bro? I'm done. I don't want no more. I don't want no more, man. Look, bro. Look, I reached in my pocket. I took out 59 cents. And I told him, look, bro, one bag of clothes, one bike, and 59 cents. It's all I have. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get some recovery. I'm gonna get clean, and I'm gonna show you that your big brother can do this. And I took off. And I took off. And I kept on doing. I did more dope that night, and I was so tired. And I remember going to the side of the embankment of the freeway on the 60 freeway on Euclid Avenue, city of Ontario. It was about maybe 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I had a piece of cardboard in my bag. And that cardboard, I wanted to just go ahead and lay on it so I can go to sleep. The only place that I was able to go to sleep was by the freeway. Why? Because I had a lot of voices and screaming in my head because of the meth psychosis that was going on in me. So I went by the freeway and I laid down. And laying down, I would feel all the trembling and everything of the cars, the vibration and all the noise and everything like that would drown out the voices. Eventually I fell asleep. I fell asleep, I woke up. So I'm waking up and everything like that. I still hear the cars and the trucks going by and the vibration and all that. Eventually the cars and the trucks stopped going by. But I kept on feeling the vibration underneath me. And I'm wondering what was the vibration that was underneath me. So I got up. I raised up the cardboard. And on that cardboard was black blood and black hair rolling down the cardboard. And I looked down, and there was a cat that was full of maggots. I stepped on a dead cat that was full of maggots. And I'm hearing the noise of the maggots, the humming, the heavy humming of the noise of the maggots. I heard. Right then and there, I knew that I had to seek help. Right then and there, I knew that I had to stop and find a new way to live. And I did. I did. After five recovery homes, and a lot of misunderstandings, because when I'm kicking, I didn't want to understand nobody. I was mad because I couldn't do any dope anymore. I was mad at everybody and at the world. I was still mad at my family. And lo and behold, I was going to get kicked out of one recovery home. And I came across a recovery home over here. Was called Awning's House. I told him about how sick I was and how dirty I was and that I needed a place to stay. And he told me, come on in, brother. Come on in, brother. We got a bed open for you. Come on in. But you don't understand. Didn't you just hear me that I just used? He goes, worry about that later on. You just come on in, brother. It was Cliff, man. He saved my life, man. I went in there and he believed in me and he helped me. He guided me to these rooms. That's how I got into these rooms, because he got me and he put me in the car and he brought me into the rooms. With him, it wasn't about the money. With him, it was about helping the other addict, man. That therapeutic value of one addict helping the other addict was big time without parallel, man. I mean, it was like it was a God gift. It was God. I was guided by God to Cliff in the Onyx home. I was guided. I know I was. There's no doubt about it that I believe that I was spiritually guided to him. And after that, I was just introduced to a program, to recovery, man.
Yeah.
And I grabbed onto recovery. And, I'm 5 years clean now, man.
Oh, yeah.
About to be 6 in a month. Maybe this might come out right after you have 6 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like during that time, in this recovery program, right? I was just trying to find ways to fund my rent, man. I didn't have no job or anything like that, man. But lo and behold, man, once again, Cliff comes through, man, and we started a pest control business, man, and we started getting a lot of contracts with a lot of people, man. We started making some contracts, putting them in line. We got a business account, business insurance, and all that. To this day, it's still running. We still have jobs here and there and everything like that. We're not like Terminix, If we were like Terminix, man, you guys would be right there too also, general managers or something like that. We're a mom and pop shop, you know what I mean? And that's the way it is, man, But me, by reaching that rock bottom and going to a recovery home, right? And actually connecting with people who know about recovery and getting into a program is what helped me. Once I got into the program, I started understanding that who's an addict, man. I started understanding about how it works, and everything like that. So I'm a freaking addict.
When I got clean, right? Since you kind of already broke his anonymity. But when I got clean.
He told me I could even use his name everywhere.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, though. Is he's not like, we're not breaking his.
No.
Right? He's a friend, bro.
Yeah,
I love
of
that
course,
fool, right?
of course.
But when I met
Love you, Cliff.
When I met Cliff, I didn't like that fool at all. Right? I did it. So let me tell you why.
Okay.
Every time I would go to a meeting and I would share, right? And I had that fire newcomer share, you know what I'm saying? And so every time I would share, he would share after me, and it was the opposite of what I was trying to say. I swear, right? So we all have Eskimos, right? That's your Eskimo. That's somebody who came into your life at the right time, right? And so George, God rest his soul, was my Eskimo.
Oh, George, yeah.
Right? And so I remember I would tell George, we can go, that fool shares about like this, and I'm always against what I share. Yeah. And one time, me and George are in a meeting, and I share. And I remember what I was sharing about. I was sharing about sponsorship, how I need my sponsor, how like he's the most important thing to me. Like I need this guidance, I need this. And then Cliff went and shared about how, and it's funny because, some of our literature talks about that, how we need to, we start to rely less on our sponsor, more on God, right?
Come on.
And so he shares about how, you can rely on your sponsor for everything, right? And then George looks at me and gives me that look like, you're right. He does talk about you, right? And so... like with Cliff, like I had a resentment for that, bro, right? But I didn't understand what he was trying to teach me. I didn't understand that he was trying to teach me the correct way, because Cliff's one of those people, bro, he's about information, right? About giving the correct information in the correct manner, right? And so, and then I started hanging out with Cliff. We started going out to like LA. He started taking me like to all these other places that I really never been because I was just a little IE baby, Yeah, man. So Cliff, yeah, I can understand. He knows this too. I'll tell him to his face, But I love Cliff now, you know what I'm saying? So, and you know what? It shows what kind of character he has, bro.
Oh man. Yeah.
Right? Like it shows what kind of character. Like I have a boss right now. I work in treatment, right? And I work for a lot of different companies. But the boss I work for right now, man, his name's Ron, right? Hopefully we'll get him on here soon. But bro, I want to tell you, like everything that he does, bro. It's not about money, bro. And he owns a treatment center, right? It's about the clients, bro.
That's right.
There's so many people that are on scholarship that don't even know they're on scholarship. There's so many people like where most treatment centers, and I talked to him the other day, right? Because like when I work at treatment centers, there's always those guys that are like really hard to deal with. They're assholes. They don't pay attention in group, or they're not doing this, or they're talking back or whatever. And every treatment center I worked at, I'm like, why are you keeping them here? You're keeping them here for $1. Right? That's my mind frame, and I know that's why. You want to build his insurance, and you guys are keeping him. That's why, right? With Ron, we have clients like that. But I want to tell you, man, I know deep down inside that Ron doesn't keep them for a check. He doesn't keep them because he wants their insurance money. He doesn't keep them for that reason. He keeps them because he believes in them, and he has hope that they're going to change. And he said it in one of our staff meetings, man. He doesn't want them to like, he said the way the disease of addiction is nowadays, like he doesn't want to like kick nobody out. I mean, obviously people get kicked out, right?
Right.
But he wants to give them as many chances as he's able to before he kicks them out, because he says some of them we're going to kick out and they're going to go out and die, bro.
Right.
Right. And I'd rather give them an opportunity here and talk to them myself here than just like shun people out because they're not paying attention to the group, or they're always on their phone, or they're vaping, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, or for whatever reason, bro. And it's like, that's what recovery is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what recovery is, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Jesse shows up to a sober living, a recovery home with no money.
Nothing.
Right? Dirty, stinky, loaded.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And for Cliff to find it in his heart to let you in, and because there's a lot of risk with that too.
Oh yeah.
Right? You let somebody in, now the whole house is loaded.
Yeah.
Right? You let somebody in, now the TVs are gone.
Yeah.
You let somebody in, and now whatever the case may be, right? You got a lot of nice jewelry. Now all that shit's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He don't even know me from nowhere, bro.
that's what I'm saying.
It's like, damn.
And like you said, man, like I think anybody who really takes a look at like their addiction and the recovery and how it starts, like God will break down everything. He will bring you to your knees.
Absolutely.
He will have you nowhere else. Like he would give you nowhere to turn but to God and but to a program of recovery.
Come on.
Right? And it's like all for me, right? I'm talking about me, like everything I went through at the end of my addiction was necessary for me to be here. As much as it sucked, as much as it hurt, as embarrassing, as fucking, as much as I hated myself for my actions and losing my kids and doing all that was necessary for me to be where I'm at today. Right? And so like, and Jesse, like you're one of those guys, bro. You always have a good attitude.
Yeah.
Right? You're
you.
always
Thank
joking,
you.
bro. Like you're an amazing fucking dude. So it's like,
Thank you.
I'm really grateful that there are Cliffs out there, right? That there are Rons out there, that there are Georges out there, right? That there's Mikes out there, there's Willies out, like all these people, bro. They like really, really have like hearts for the still suffering addict, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I look around the room, you know, at a meeting, I think to myself like, this is all we got.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that, bro. Like, these are the people, right? There's that poem, The Attic in a Hole poem, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to have a psychiatrist. It's cool to go to church. It's cool to see a doctor, right? It's cool to, like, get into business, right? But I've done some of those things, but the thing that saved my life was other addicts, right? Convicts, prostitutes. Like the people that fucking, you know, use sewer water to shoot up. Yeah. Like people that robbed from their mom and neglected their kids. Like those are the people that God put in my life to help me get my life together, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the sickest of the sickest. Like that's so profound, bro. Some of the most rotten fucking people become some of the most loving, caring, compassionate, understanding, empathetic fucking people in the world, bro.
Isn't that something? It's like, I mean, aren't we all the miracle? It's like, it's a miracle. It's like, you know, it's like my mom, you know, I mean, ay, mijo, you're such a miracle. You know, I remember back then, you know, it's like when I was like in the active addiction and all that, I would be making a run for the border, right? And full blast music and shit like that. I'm partying and everything like that. I'm all tweaked out and I knock on the door and she'll tell me, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell are you doing here? We don't. No, you're not. No. You can't come in. But now, I visit her. Oh my gosh, man! She goes, "Ay, mijo, come on in." She gives me a hug and a kiss, and I go, "All right, mom, I'm all right, mom." And, you know, she goes to just hug me for a long time. And you know what I mean? It's the most awesomest feeling ever, man. Mm-hmm. Is that I mean, during the time when I was getting clean, when I went into Cliff's home and all that stuff, I didn't communicate with my mother for years. I did not communicate with her, nothing, man. Because I had to separate myself from everything, my father, my mother, my brother, sister, everybody. And I had to just focus on myself, man. You know, ever since I come into recovery, man, I've been hitting the road. I go into recovery, there's that asphalt recovery, you know, and I've been going to different conventions. I've been blessed to be able to do that, you know. I drive for Uber. You know, I just so happened to acquire my driver's license, man. I did not even have it for 15 years. You know, it's like that, man. But you know what, man? Life has been great, man. I there's no complaints. You know, everything's been going great for me.
So, Jesse, we usually ask the same question at the end of the podcast to everybody that comes on who's in recovery. So what do you do to maintain that now? Like, what does a day look like, or a week look like,
Or a month.
or a month, or whatever? What do you do on a regular basis to
stay clean.
stay clean, man?
What do I do?
Yeah.
You know what? I practice willingness on a daily basis. You know, I it's the fact that it's the most important tool for me. You know, and the thing is how I do that. I must be willing to attend meetings. You know, I attend meetings on a regular basis, whether it's here in the city or my hometown, my home group. You know, I know we bump into each other in different meetings and stuff, and you know, speaker jams and stuff like that. You know, I go to conventions and stuff like that. But aside from doing the meetings and conventions and all these speaker jams, I get to go to my family's home, man, and practice recovery with them. I get to go and be that example of a grateful recovering addict. I get to show them, you know, by being an example. You know, I practice principles. You know, I'm be of service. You know, I go to H&I, you know, as much as I can. You know, I reach out to the newcomer. I make it a point where, you know, and I got this from George, where he would load up
Newcomer.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
bro!
I know. You know what's cool?
He would
about
actually
that?
load them all up,
I know.
bro.
What's cool about that is I was that newcomer for fucking,
Oh, you were?
Yeah, for quite a few years for him. Yeah.
Oh damn, man!
And he always picked me up first so I could sit in front, bro.
You were his favorite.
Yeah.
George picked me up first, huh?
If you invited George anywhere, just know he has 4 other people with him.
Yeah,
That's just what it was, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you invite him to a barbecue, if you invite him to Christmas, if you invite him anywhere, just know that he has 4 newcomers with him, bro. And it was different newcomers at different times. You know what's crazy is when he passed, bro, like, I for some reason, I was like, oh, I'm the only one that, like, really, he was, bro. There were so many people that shared at this funeral that talked about how, like, oh, yeah, George used to pick me up, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And it's like, it's such a fucking beautiful thing, bro, to leave a legacy like that behind, bro. You know what I mean? I promise you, if he was still around, he would have already been on this podcast. You know?
He would have been the first one or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
About, because he's gay, so he's be like, I don't know if I was a chola or a disco duck.
I remember he would just share about how he would walk up Waterman and Highland, you know, miles at a time, man, just to get high and stuff like that, you know?
He said, what? And then he would always say, I'm grateful that recovery's not a journey, or recovery's a journey and not a mission anymore. I'm not walking.
Oh, good old George, man. But you know what, man? You know, I just go ahead, man, and I practice gratitude, man. I you know, and I help the other addict, man. You know, they talk about that therapeutic value of one addict helping another. You know, it's without parallel. You know, that's me. You know, and that's what I do, man. In my recovery, I principles. Yeah, I call my sponsor from time to time. Not as much, but as much I would like to. But I do. I stay connected. But like I said, man, you know what, man? The recovery for me starts not in the rooms. It starts out of the rooms. Yeah. You know, it does for me, you know, especially with my family, because it's the most important thing is to break the chains. You know, it's to break the chain. You know, it's that lie, it no longer exists. You know, all that crap. We must change it. You know, it must make other traditions, family traditions, you know, and stuff like that. But that's me, you know. I'm grateful that I'm here. I want to thank you guys for having me over.
Thank you.
I mean, shoot, man, you know, it's like we touched on a few things, man. You guys brought up some good stuff, man, for me to bring up.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys doing this for all of us.
Well, we appreciate you being of service, bro. You know, the reason why me and Mike do this is for the newcomer, for the person that don't know what recovery is, for the person that don't know that it's possible to get clean. And our hope is that they stumble on it somehow and they hear someone like you, someone like, any of the other, a Mario, a Caesar, who else have we already posted?
Gilbert.
You know what I mean?
Aubrey.
Aubrey, yeah.
Dr. Fillmore, you know what I mean? Like that they get to hear that message and they get to know that, you know what, like shit's fucked up, but there's hope out there. And
of course.
And the hope is that they find what we have found and walk down some of the same paths that we walk down and be able to, get to a point where we get to be there for our family and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I want to thank you, Jesse, for real. It's been an honor, bro.
Dude, it's been an honor myself, man. It's been a pleasure, man. I had fun. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right.
Well, until next time, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
But I'm rocking with my loved ones, let you know that front and center. Found out my skin's tough as leather, I can storm through any weather. Addiction was the hardest battle I ever endeavored. It takes a lot of effort to apply all of this pressure. Being higher than propellers only drove me through the shredder. I need some hope right now. Can you spare some hope right now? I can use some hope right now. Can you spare some hope right now? Lately I've been thinking about this life and how it brought me here. Staring at this man in the mirror, I see him often here. Wipe my tears, only if you knew what I was going through. Only if you walked it in my shoes.
Looking at the skylight, thinking of my life like looking for the right state of mind to get my time right. I just hope my time's right, lost up in the limelight, but you'll never know unless you walked up in my shoes.
As someone who struggled with addiction in the past, how does it feel to be able to give hope to others who are still struggling now?
It's such an honor to be able to hear other people's experiences of life, to see how when faced with the very thing that was sent to destroy you, kill you and take you out forever didn't, but rather you have been given a second chance to give hope and be a light for those who are still in the dark. So don't be afraid to share your message to the world. You never know whose life you might be saving.